Clips, clip.
How's your fire now? Says Grace.
Not so good. Austerity's only made things worse.
We'll have more austerity then.
But it doesn't work. It's making it harder for us to recover.
We need to squeeze the poor to pay for the mistakes of the rich and make them richer. Simply borrow another 7.2 billion euros that we'll make sure you can never pay back, so you'll be in our debt forever.
Oh, Euclid, there's no point in pretending it's not happening or having a referendum.
Euro.com, making sure our fat cats get fatter.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! This is BBC One, and now it's time for tonight's
World BeNEWSment 10 live, now in HD. Wow!
Clips, clips.
Alrighty, YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips. Welcome to another World BeNEWSment at 10 live. I think it's the turn of the BBC, so do the BBC on a Monday. See what's happening. So welcome before we batter in and do the BeNEWSment with the BBCs. And for whatever reason, the BBC News started at past tonight. So, and for some reason that keeps doing that as well. But all I need to do is press a few buttons, and then I should be able to just line it all up again. So in the evening, everybody, thanks for joining. 1 wee second and I'll get this sorted for us. So in the evening, everybody, thanks for joining. I don't know, I'm getting fucking confused here. Paddy, Vicky, Fag, how yous doing, guys and girls? Nimi, Blazing, how yous all doing? Thanks for joining. Days was in at the get-go, how you doing, mate? The thumbnail was from, somebody stuck it up on the Google Pluses and whatnot, so I think it was Martin Mason, if I remember correctly, so thanks. Mr. Drew, Blazing in the evening, guys. Who else? Heather, Holly, how yous doing, guys and girls? Vicky, Mr. Drew, Paddy, and anybody I've missed out. I think I've managed to get yous all there. So an evening, everybody, thanks for joining. Vicky, Paddy, Nimi, how you doing? Nimi, Fag and Blazing. If you do appreciate the BeNEWSment, feel free to stick a wee thumbs up. It is much appreciated. Tell a friend and all that good jazz as well. So let's get on with the BeNEWSment.
The news and reporting Scotland now, here on BBC One Scotland with Clive Myrie and Jackie Bird.
One of Britain's worst paedophiles has been given 22 life sentences on multiple charges of sex abuse, including rape.
The Queen?
Richard Huckle, who's a former Sunday school teacher, admitted more than 70 of...
Sounded too good to be true.
...and shared images of his crimes on the internet.
The dark web, where all the transcripts of what he wrote and shit are now getting read out in court to jail him on the dark web that you shouldn't go on. They'll tell you they need more rules and regulations to decode and encrypt and all this crap, as they're prosecuting people using evidence from the dark web.
It's feared he may have abused as many as 200 children, with his victims all in Malaysia and Cambodia. But it's been revealed 2 churches Huckle attended here in the UK were only informed of his crimes last week, despite his arrest 18 months ago. We'll have the very latest, also on the programme. A Frenchman has been arrested in Ukraine, accused of planning terror attacks during the Euro 2016 football tournament.
Right, this happened in Ukraine. Ukraine's security agency. Now, this is going to turn out to be like the bullcrap that happens in America. This guy's going to be half retarded. The reason I know this is already a few of the details is like the rocket launchers were duds, the guns were duds, the Ukraine mob were selling them a bunch of duds. The bomb, I mean, it was a bunch of dummies basically, and that sounds like the exact same MO as the FBI over in the States when they're setting up their patsies over there. Find some stupid fucking retard and they literally just give them all the stuff and send them in a car somewhere, and then 2 seconds later charge down the car and go, ah! Alert!
It's thought millions of people still haven't registered to vote in the EU referendum. The deadline is midnight tomorrow.
Oh my god, I'm going to miss out, but I already up here in Scotland, Zikal, one SNP, there shall only be one. We automatically get registered, but...
How a £1 million offer from Chelsea wasn't enough to stop their former doctor taking them and Jose Mourinho to court.
What is this pain?
His work included the hit Amadeus, tributes tonight to the playwright Sir Peter Schaffer, who's died at the age of 90.
Peter Schaffer was the playwright, the British playwright, perhaps one of the world's playwrights, who had his finger on the pulse of the audience.
Hey, yes, what more, yes, very much in finger on the pulse of the audience, what more, yes, what more. What the fuck, but who is this dude?
What do I ever knew?
I must not have been privy to the pulse in the audience of the finger of love.
Police hunt for a teenage boy after a 7-year-old girl was sexually assaulted in South Queensbury. And the Edinburgh Airport puts controversial plans for new flight paths out to consultation.
Back in the room with the doom.
A very good evening to you. One of Britain's most prolific paedophiles, who may have sexually abused up to 200 children in Malaysia, has been given 22
Denny's know how he was caught. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, he was caught by an Australian TV show doing an investigation of pedos on the interwebs, and apparently stumbled across this cunt. I don't know, the NSA aren't doing their job, are they? Or are they?
Confronted with his crimes, he says no comment. Huckle has no answer for police. This is how he wanted others to see him, a devout Christian training to be a teacher, here with the British Council. But in court he admitted raping.
This guy was establishment right up until the point where an Australian TV show undercovered the scumbaggery, and now it's, oh, how did he get away with it? He worked for the British Council. He was the Queen's best pal.
Babies. He received 22 life sentences. A woman shouted, 1,000 deaths are too good for you.
One's enough, one slow death is good enough. That's...
Huckle filmed the sexual abuse and posted it on the so-called dark web.
On the so-called, who's calling it the so-called? Anyway, I'm sorry about you. I don't want to subject myself to the horrific details that they like to. The sting. See, they are talking
Still
about...
being investigated. Richard Huckle, Christian, photographer, predatory paedophile. Just 30 he now faces most of the rest of his life
Fuck's
behind
sake, 30-year-old, a wee dick, man.
BBC News.
The authorities in Ukraine say a man they arrested with a
Listen to
van
this,
load
this
of
is
weapons
funny.
and explosives was planning to carry out attacks during the Euro 2016
Bullshit!
Say the Frenchman, who was detained on Ukraine's border with Poland, was motivated by far-right views. Our correspondent in Kiev, Tom Burridge, has the details.
A right-wing French guy. Ooh, is this a right-wing guy that loves Jews or hates Jews?
A French man caught on camera in a sting operation by Ukraine's security service.
Sound familiar? How long have the Americans been in there showing the Ukraine mob how to do things? This is how we do it at home, fucking Sergei. That's a Ukrainian name. Mikhailichenko. No. Shevchenko.
Claimed he was planning several terror attacks to coincide with the Euro 2016 football championships. Here he's filmed stashing a box of grenades into a van. The man was apparently under surveillance for several months. He's seen using blankets to wrap up Kalashnikov machine guns, and then 2 rocket-propelled grenade launchers go into a sack. Ukraine's security service said it seized details of 15 possible targets, including a synagogue, a mosque, and a French tax office.
A synagogue, a mosque, and a French tax office. This guy sounds perfectly sane. I'm gonna bomb everywhere!
When he tries to cross the border from Ukraine into Poland and into the European Union, Ukrainian officers are waiting. He's arrested with an arsenal of weapons in the van. 5 machine guns, 6,000 bullets, and these small blocks of explosives, 125 kilograms of them. The man who was arrested is reported to be Grégoire Moutot, a 25-year-old farm worker. Officials in Ukraine described him as a far-right extremist who was apparently unhappy about high levels of
Knights of Malta cross.
migration in France.
In December 2015, we learned that a French citizen arrived in Ukraine claiming to be providing volunteer aid. He started establishing contacts with members of the armed forces, promising to deliver equipment. But during this process, he indicated his interest in purchasing weapons, explosives, and other means of destruction.
There are questions tonight about how easy it is to buy machine guns and explosives here in Ukraine. But the country's security service is claiming a massive coup, saying it has prevented mass murder just days before Euro 2016 kicks off in France.
A French farmer? I think he was a French hillbilly.
Security will be tight throughout the tournament. Today, England were among the teams arriving in France ahead of their game against Russia. Ukraine's security service has left many details about the operation unanswered, and the authorities in France say their investigation is about arms trafficking and not terrorism. Tom Burridge, BBC News in Kiev.
For weeks now, much of the EU referendum debate has focused on the economy, with Remain campaigners outlining what they see as the disadvantages of leaving. But today, Boris Johnson's...
So a French farmer, see what was going down in Ukraine, sniffed some cheap weapons, seen a wee quick deal.
...get worse for the economy if the UK stayed in the EU. He claimed UK taxpayers may have to contribute to future Eurozone bailouts and budget increases.
Would you think their tactic would just bore you to fucking death? It's genuine cognitive dissonance. Ultimately, Farage has been snubbed out, and you have Bobo Johnson and David Cameron, both of the Conservatives, ready to claim victory, whatever happens. So whoever wins, whoever loses, the government wins, and the Conservative win.
In February to opt out of funding future bailouts, and the UK already has a veto over future budget increases. Well, our political editor Laura Koonsberg has more.
The campaign is dirty on both sides, and it will take a lot more than a visit to a soap factory to clean it up. Handle with care the claims made by the outers today.
No one can say that we are not running the clean campaign, ladies and gentlemen. Now,
Johnson and friends try to say not just that the EU costs us now, but it will cost billions more in future.
the risks of remaining in this over-centralising, over-regulating, job-destroying machine are becoming more and more. Yay! We are winning the arguments.
The risks heap.
See, like, ultimately, whatever way the chips fall, it's going to be used to as a progression, as a way of progressing us towards the European Union superstate. Now, to usher in the new, you need to destroy the old. Obvious, right? So, up here in Scotland, we've had that happened. We've got the new political order, which is the SNP, full spectrum dominance. Nobody asking any questions about them, they've just got full spectrum dominance, and ultimately they've got themselves into a position where they're, oh, if we get forced out of the European Union, we're going to demand a referendum so we can rejoin. So they don't want independence, they want part of a bigger union. It's the most retarded logic I've ever heard in my life.
Are stumping up more cash to prop up the Eurozone, even though the Prime Minister brokered a deal to stop that happening.
You've told this audience here this morning somehow we will be dragged into paying for the failures of the Eurozone, when you know very well the Prime Minister has done a series
Bullseye, buddy! That the opt-out is somehow going to protect us. Well, it has no legal basis at the moment. It is not in the treaty. There's absolutely no way that we'll be able in the future to insulate ourselves from such calls on the British taxpayer.
Europeans on the signs in Polish. The boss here wants out too.
Is seen by all our export customers as a great place to invest and a great place to do business.
Outers are energised by pulling ahead in some recent polls. Despite being
God, check out that party bus.
their claims about cash are wrong by independent number crunchers and having the majority of economic experts against them.
as they
It's about 7%. 7% of a normal human's DNA in one bus.
the country, the out-campaigners aren't trying to get you to swallow and digest the minutiae of all of their claims. They're hotly disputed by the other side anyway. What they do want you to hear is a broader message, that in their belief, staying inside the European Union could have real costs for the country too.
Further down the road, another local boss believes even the idea of leaving is hurting.
The indecision that is out there and the unknown. I mean, nobody's got a plan B in business, in my belief, because what is the plan if you leave? There isn't one.
But look, a battle bus and a matching fleet of minis.
A battle bus.
A folding bike for the Green Party leader. David Cameron and his new friends, Tim, Harriet and Natalie. Different parties, but with the same drive.
I cannot stand back and allow the Leave campaign to guide us towards economic ruin because of a campaign based on lies.
Staying in the EU.
Fuck off, you Australian fucking retard. Yeah, get die, mate. Get die. Get die. Get die. I've got your Limey's best interests at heart. Yeah, good die. Fucking look at the Look, fucking, she's not even a good looking Australian. She's one of the ones that fucking get a job in prisoner cell block H.
It's a challenge of our time, climate change.
And here's the harlot Hammond. You know, she used to work in cahoots with the paedophile information exchange. on the council, the National Council for Civil Liberties, the NCCL, which has now manifested itself into Liberty with Chabakra in fucking charge yet. Her and her husband worked on the council when Pi was working in conjunction with the National Council for Civil Liberties, and the reason Pi was working in conjunction with them was to push for civil liberties for paedophiles.
EU for problems in the NHS. That's down to the government. If you're worried...
Well, none of them consider a joke. If we choose to leave the EU and its trading area, they say we'd all be poorer.
The shock impact, the uncertainty impact, the trade impact, and you put a bomb under our economy. And
World War III, a bomb under our economy. But somebody put a fucking, figuratively, put a bomb under his fucking ass.
The thing is, we would have lit the fuse ourselves.
As 1 million more of us sign up to...
Who wouldn't light the fuse if there was a bomb under that fucking dick's ass?
Labour is stepping more boldly into the campaign too. Politicians of every...
Right, and look, there's Boris Johnson with a vagina. And she sits on the other side of the house. I mean, these have the people up the parliament have the genetic gene pool like fucking a monkey.
You Stripe are trying to persuade us. After months of their manoeuvrings, it's nearly time for all of us to decide. Laura Kunzberg, BBC News, Stratford-upon-Avon.
There's been a warning this evening from the head of America's central bank about the possible impact of a vote to leave the EU. Janet Yellen says there could be significant economic repercussions. Our business editor Simon Jack is here with me now. Simon, we've had
God.
Brexit on the economy from the IMF, the governor of the Bank of England. Now Janet...
Jewish. Go figure. Quick! Tell us what to do with our money! Up a bit, down a bit, and how we should live in fear.
How significant is this latest intervention?
Well, coincidentally, Janet Yellen was voted third most powerful woman in the world just today, and for my money, that's an underestimate. When it comes to financial markets, there's no one more powerful, man or woman. And what...
Oh, you hear that? You better listen to this woman, there's nobody more powerful. According to who?
She said today is that a vote to leave the European Union would be a significant shock to the financial system. Such a shock that it actually might play a part in delaying...
It actually might, might...
the US Central Bank raising interest rates. And
so, because what's going to happen in America, you should listen to that bitchy fear-mongering.
we know we've heard this before, that,
We know we've heard this shit before, but hype up the fear, Jackie boy.
Currency might fall. The Bank of England governor, Mark Carney, said sterling could fall perhaps quite sharply. That not made...
Could fall, maybe coulda, shoulda. 9 out of 10 cats agree that maybe someday at one point, as like a broken clock, these guys might actually get something right, even though they're actually just genuinely lying to you in the first place.
A bad thing in the long run. We saw more evidence of that today. Because
we've seen more evidence. What's this evidence? Well, this man came out and said that maybe cause shoulda, woulda, possibly, maybe 9 out of 10 cats agree that interest rates could, shoulda, up a bit, down a bit, left a bit, in America, transpired into Mexico, through the tunnels into our economy.
Have inched in the vote leave's favour, so sterling has had a little bit of a fall. But what we found out today, both from Janet Yellen and from the currency markets, is that the financial markets, the world's most powerful woman financially, all of the world is watching as well.
Okay, Simon, thanks for
the world's most powerful woman, at least financially, but I thought she was voted the world's third most powerful woman. Who's right? You or the person that published the list? Somebody's lying. I need to figure out who before I move on here, Simon. Simon Jacks?
And it's believed several million people still haven't registered to vote in the EU.
Don't, it's a waste of time. Several million people, imagine more millions, stood next to the government sanction box and said, Fuck off, you bunch of scumfucks. We're sick of playing your stupid ass games. We're setting up shop away for yous. Please stay away from us.
Including many young people and some from black and minority ethnic communities.
Oh my god, there's brown people not voting.
The deadline to register is midnight tomorrow, and with less than 3 weeks to go before the vote, the campaigns up and down the country have been sharpening their message.
And can you please confirm to me that debt collection companies use the voting register as a way to track down people? That would be correct, yes.
Respondent Gavin Hewitt has been gauging opinion in Lincoln.
On the eve of the deadline to register,
Fair and balanced.
the referendum ground war intensifies.
Will you show a restoration of democracy? Information about the EU? No, thank you. So will you be voting in the upcoming EU referendum?
It's thought millions still haven't registered. On the streets, confusion and questions.
What can you do about it? You can register for a postal vote, register for that already. Can you?
This is Lincoln. With so many voters unregistered, party activists know turnout is key. He's in. She's out. She's in. He's out. This is all about winning arguments. There's the already decided.
Years ago, we used to be out, and we managed fine.
The world's changed, it's globalised now, we need to work together.
No, it's fine.
There's the in, but only just.
I think I'm going to vote stay, which is probably what you don't want to hear.
There's the unsure.
All the money that we say we put in to the EU, if you come out of the EU, will that money come back to us?
And there's the newly converted.
Well, I was passing by, and I spoke to the people representing the Remain campaign, and I felt strongly about what they said, and I agree with them.
In the past 3 weeks, 1.
Bah, bah. Please come and vote for your own enslavement. Yes, these people will... They'll rape you a wee bit more kindly.
3 million people have registered to vote, half of them under 35, but it still seems many younger people haven't signed up.
Seeing us out here gives people so much positivity, and it makes them talk about the campaign in a way that they might not have done otherwise. So I think what we do is vitally important all across the country.
We have distributed in and around just Lincoln City, somewhere in the region of 30,000 leaflets to households. We've still got a few to go.
In a general election, Lincoln is a marginal, a key battleground. But in a referendum, that doesn't matter because every vote carries equal weight. But the two camps in and out have been adopting different strategies in the ground war.
In the ground war, I wonder how long this man has learned how to speak like this.
Dr. Caitlin Malazzo has been researching this campaign. She says the Remain camp is holding more events focused on urban areas where they have more support.
If you want to go to a pro-EU area and you're a pro-EU group, you're trying to mobilize people, right? You're not trying to convert, you're trying to get people to the polling place.
And if you're wanting to try and make a decision about the UK, then listen to a fucking American.
Get out the vote that's on your side. And so that would suggest that Remain is adopting a very strong mobilization strategy.
She says the Leave campaign appears more engaged in trying to convert people to its cause. 2 campaigns now fully engaged on Britain's streets. Gavin Hewitt, BBC News, Lincoln.
Vote for David Cameron or vote for Boris Johnson. That is a democracy scam, people. Line up and vote.
Scientists say advances in genetics and biology are heralding a revolution in medicine. A technique known as gene editing already.
A technique known as gene editing? What does that kind of mean? Well, it means that we go in and we kind of edit your genes. Oh, sounds reasonable.
Enables researchers to alter human DNA to combat...
Alter human DNA? What does that mean then? It kind of means that humans aren't real humans, son. It means that they're kind of human plus. Humans with a wee... Man-made humans! Woohoo! What could possibly go wrong?
But a new, faster and cheaper process could lead to many more treatments and even cures. Our medic...
Yay!
Fergus Walsh has this special report.
San Francisco has been a focal point in the fight against HIV since the first...
That's a bit of a slur in it, showing you the gay flag and then going, the fight on HIV because of the gays. Is that just me? You see that shit?
AIDS cases
That's no good, BBC.
were identified...
That's homophobic, man.
...early 80s.
So I was just looking at your chart, and actually I like what I'm seeing.
Matt is one of around 80 HIV patients whose immune cells have been DNA edited
God, man. They had to get a gay guy, didn't they?
to make them resistant to the virus. Since the trial, he stopped taking any antiretroviral drugs.
Sorry, but my gaydar's going off, man. Like, if this dude was straight, the colour of his shoes wouldn't match his shirt.
My lab values look really good. My viral load is pretty good, pretty well controlled. I mean, that's kind of the point of the study, to see how well you can naturally control HIV after you get the treatment.
And how long have you been off your meds?
I've been off my meds for
years. That's pretty amazing. We can't be sure how effective the treatment will be in the long term, but the HIV trials were the world's first
Native advertising.
to use gene editing. Now, a new technique called CRISPR has made the technology faster and cheaper.
So what is gene editing?
Oh, I can't imagine. The clue's not in the fucking name. But here's a dumbed down diagram to break it down for you children. Pay close attention.
Inside each cell in our body is our genome. Billions of pieces of genetic code. It's the blueprint or instruction manual for life. A single error...
What we do is change it a wee bit.
mistake in that DNA can trigger disease. There are thousands of genetic disorders and many more conditions that develop as we age. CRISPR gene editing enables scientists to scan the entire genome and then, using molecular scissors, to cut both strands of DNA and delete, insert or repair the code.
The biochemist who co-discovered CRISPR believes it will help to transform medicine.
Just thinking about the opportunity to cure a genetic disease, not treat it, not just sort of give palliative treatment, but really provide a cure in the future is so exciting.
And do you think diseases will be cured?
I feel they will. People say that this is going to be the century of biology, and I think there's a lot of truth to that.
But when scientists can alter DNA at will, society must decide what limits should be placed on such a powerful technology. Fergus Walsh, BBC.
Well, the BBC's nudging it on its merry way right now without even actually questioning whether we should be editing fucking human DNA in the first place. No, that question's off the table. Just we need to wonder how far we go when we're editing our own embryos. Other news.
The Tribunal has been told Chelsea's former team doctor turned down an offer of more than £1 million to settle her dispute with the football club. F.E.A.R is claiming constructive dismissal. She's also accusing the former manager, Jose Mourinho, of sexual discrimination, saying she was forced out of the job of her dreams. Our sports correspondent, Richard Conway, has the story.
It was last August as Chelsea took on Swansea in the Premier League that Dr. Eva Carneiro infuriated Jose Mourinho, running onto the pitch to treat an injured player, leaving his team a man down. Mourinho accused his medical team of being impulsive and failing to understand football. Today it was revealed Dr. Carneiro has turned down £1.2 million to settle the...
Right. She was a stupid bitch because she didn't understand the fucking actual rules of football. Spot on. She's probably too busy looking at the fucking football player's ass, know what I mean? Oh! She doesn't understand. Well, anyway, you don't understand the rules of football, but basically that. She went on, which meant that player had to come off rather than just leaving him on, not running on. Oh, right, anyway, won't go into it. But she was an idiot, and if it was a guy that done it, he would have been a fucking muppet as well, and both of them would have got the boot. But anyway. Oh. Shit. Bit pissed. Squirrel!
So, victimisation and discrimination claims. In court documents, her legal team accused Jose Mourinho of being a bad employee. The bad employee berates, sexually harasses and demotes the good employee for carrying out her professional duties. In response, Chelsea claimed Dr. Carneiro had become increasingly preoccupied with developing her profile and associating herself with the first team, signing autographs, and seeking to position herself behind Jose Mourinho during televised matches.
I would like to nominate Branislav Ivanovic.
Nominating a prominent Chelsea player for a charity ice bucket challenge is also cited by the club as a sign that Dr. Carneiro wanted to link herself with its star performers.
It's a bunch of cunts in a big cunt fest arguing about who's the slimier cunt. Jose Mourinho or this bitch, fuck's sake. Fame-hungry fucking whorebags, man.
But for her, this is a matter of principle. What it means for Jose Mourinho...
Aye, the principle of cha-cha-cha-ching.
Early as next week, he must come here and give evidence on behalf of himself and his former employer. Much of that evidence will relate to a dispute over his words. Dr. Carneiro claims she was called in Portuguese Filha da Puta, or daughter of a whore.
Filha da puta! Yes, I know my first Portuguese. Filha da puta! Filha da puta! I've learned a new language.
Mourinho maintained he said Filo da Puta, meaning son of a bitch, in a reference to what was happening in the game. With all parties now in a standoff, the case could yet be...
Son of a whore or son of a bitch, you decide.
Increasingly acrimonious. Richard Conway, BBC News.
Let's have a quick look at some of the day's other top stories now. And police are hunting a man in connection with the fatal stabbing of a pensioner and the disappearance of his elderly wife in a village in Suffolk. The body of Peter Stewart was found in woodland in Weybred. Detectives want to question Ali Kazimaj, who's from the former Yugoslavia, and warn he shouldn't be approached. A man who's thought to be Britain's oldest ever defendant has pleaded not guilty to 31 child sex offences at Birmingham Crown Court. Ralph Clark, who's 101 years old, is accused of a string of attacks in the 1970s and 80s. He's been granted unconditional bail. Now, the BBC has learned that one of Britain's best-selling hybrid cars, the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, is
recall or something. Trade wars.
Hacking attacks. Security experts say criminals can disable the alarm and unlock the vehicle, and an urgent security update is essential. Our technology...
It's harder to make a key and break into a car than it is to hack into it nowadays, man.
Rory Catlin-Jones, this morning.
Introducing the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. The Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, a popular electric and petrol hybrid with some futuristic twists. Staggering 148 miles per gallon. Among them, a smartphone app that controls some of its functions. But one expert says the car is not secure. He's found that the Wi-Fi network on which the app depends can be easily hacked.
Most cars use 3G. So they talk to the manufacturer's servers, and the manufacturer talks to your phone. Nice, secure way of doing it. Unfortunately, this one uses Wi-Fi, so I connect my phone directly to the car. And unfortunately, the Wi-Fi key, isn't strong enough.
And that means an intruder could switch on the lights, or more seriously, disable the alarm. Okay? So your colleague with the laptop has now hacked it, he's turned the alarm off. Let's see if that's worked. Yep, alarm's off. I can't...
Honda.
To drive away. But isn't this rather a remote threat?
I'd say it's a £15 piece of Wi-Fi kit you need to crack the key, and a couple of graphics cards. it doesn't take that much work.
Here's another worrying thing. Because these Mitsubishis use this system, their locations can be tracked on a public site which maps Wi-Fi networks. Mitsubishi told us, "We take this matter very seriously," but the company said while it was obviously disturbing and would be investigated, there was limited effect to the vehicle.
Mitsubishi? South Korean? Japanese? It's not Chinese, is it?
If you haven't got one of these clever connected cars, this may not seem a worry, but in a few years' time, just about every new car sold in the UK is likely to have an internet connection of some kind or another. And that'll mean such...
What could possibly go wrong? Who wouldn't want a car that isn't connected to the internet? As Elon Musk is out there warning us that Google's probably Skynet.
will be just as important on the move as at home. Last year, researchers showed they could take control of a Jeep, even disabling the brakes. More proof that hackers could pose a threat to the cars of the future.
I think we need to be careful with a connected car because obviously with hackers, we've seen it in the past, you know, people can get into mobile phone devices.
Yes, what we need is a government-protected centralised hub.
Get into our cars now, maybe stealing data or maybe even controlling what they do on the road.
So if you or somebody you know's got one.
Meanwhile, for worried Mitsubishi owners, there's a simple short-term solution. They just need to disconnect the app and turn off the Wi-Fi network. Rory Catton-Jones, BBC News.
They're five.
Turn off the internet. I'm getting bullied over Twitter. Quit Twitter. But no! I should be able to have a safe space in Twitter.
One, rank outsiders, but also the informed team heading into the Euro 2016 football tournament. Northern Ireland are now in France and are preparing for their first match against Poland on Sunday.
Sorry, but I'm going to be able to watch the football and the bombs going off and around the events.
Katie Gunnell's report from the team's base near Lyon contains flashing images.
It wasn't planned, but then the best parties never are. This was the moment Northern Ireland's manager knew they had qualified for the European Championship for the first time. Before flying out to France, Michael O'Neill told me of his pride in how far his team has come.
It's an incredible achievement with a group of players, not only to qualify but to go there as group winners as well. And you know, I think the sense of optimism and euphoria a little bit in Northern Ireland is down to the fact that people didn't really expect it.
Coach of the year is, we're not Brazil, we're Northern Ireland, Michael O'Neill.
Their achievement has put O'Neill in the spotlight, but his award-winning career in management nearly didn't happen. When he retired from playing, he became a financial advisor. That changed one day in a department store 10 years ago.
We were in Edinburgh on a Saturday afternoon where we still live, and my wife and I were looking at jumpers or something like that there for Christmas. I hate Christmas shopping, but anyway. And I just felt like there was just something, it's Saturday afternoon, I shouldn't be here, this isn't what I've spent my life doing Saturday afternoons.
O'Neill took a part-time job at Cowden Beath before building his reputation at Brecon City in the Scottish Second Division. Then came Shamrock Rovers, and when he took them into Europe on limited resources, Northern Ireland decided he was the man for them.
Northern Ireland may be rank outsiders, but they arrive here in France as the tournament's form team on a 12-game unbeaten run that's given this squad a real sense of belief.
Northern Ireland are going to win it easy.
We'll just go that extra mile just for him because he's been unbelievable, and this is his reward at the end of the day.
Why have they got a guy from Romania? Oh no, it's an Irish accent. That's a tennis hard.
The tournament comes on Sunday against Poland. Ukraine and world champions Germany are next.
It's taken me 10 years to get here, and it's been 10 years of hard work, but it's immensely rewarding when you get the opportunity to lead your country to a major tournament.
And if Northern Ireland continue to defy expectations, O'Neill may struggle to stay under the radar much longer. Katie Gornall, BBC News, near Lyon.
The playwright Sir Peter Shaffer, described as one of the greats of British theatre, has died at the age of 90. He enjoyed success in the UK and on Broadway with plays including Equus and Amadeus, his drama about the composers Mozart and Salieri, which was turned into an Oscar-winning film. Our arts editor Will Gompers looks back at Sir Peter's career.
The king rides
A scene from Equus, Peter Shaffer's 1973 play about a teenage boy who blinded 6 horses with a metal spike.
This way and that. His neck comes out of my body.
A huge success on both sides of the Atlantic, although not without controversy. The playwright said it caused a scandal in the UK because it was cruel to animals, and a scandal in America because it was cruel to psychiatrists.
Tragedy is not for me a conflict between, or for anybody I suspect, demonstrable right and demonstrable wrong. It is a collision between two different...
Oh my god, that's such a bad wig. But anyway.
Right. And that's what I was trying to do in Equus. I think that each of them is incomplete and damaged.
I look at pages of centaurs trampling the soil of Argos, and outside my window that boy is trying to become one in a Hampshire field.
In 1977, his screenplay of Equus, for a film starring Richard Burton, received an Oscar nomination.
He stands for an hour in the dark, sucking the sweat off his god's hairy cheek.
It started simply now. Just a pulse in the lowest register.
Many of Peter Shaffer's plays were given their premiere at the National Theatre, including Amadeus in 1979.
Hey, Amadeus. Oh, sorry, yes, that stuff's just...
Fall in love.
I'm sure he was a cultural icon.
Playwright Sir Peter Shaffer, who's died at...
Good evening. Police are hunting a teenage boy in connection.
Right, don't need to read that, hear that.
30 to 140.
So what is it?
Online and information through the letterboard. The moment they can handle one departure,
Sorry, there was one...
stick off.
Oh no, that's not...
Or cap payments to be made to farmers and crofters. Last week, the Rural Economy...
No, there was a... Oh, this is it.
describing as a targeted attack on...
This is just round the corner from my sister's, what happened here.
Make the date. Police say they're looking for 3 men in connection to what they're describing as a targeted attack on the outskirts of Glasgow, in which 2 vans were set alight. Hugh Williams reports.
2 vans set on fire after one, which had been stolen, was deliberately crashed into the other. Men who'd been in the parked transit were chased and attacked by a group who'd arrived in the stolen vehicle.
3 men were assaulted with bladed instruments, and at some stage...
Bladed instruments? They fought a knife? The fuck? Axes? Machetes? Samurai swords maybe, probably. Bladed instruments. Come on, Detective Inspector David Riley. Fucking gives a wee bit more information than that shit.
When this incident, the 2 vans were set on fire. The 3 men responsible for attacking our 3 victims then, we believe, left in 2 vehicles, a black coloured 4x4 vehicle and a white or light coloured saloon vehicle.
There's a smell of diesel and burnt tarmac in the air, the pavement at the edge of the road scorched by the intensity of the flames yesterday afternoon. What happened here has left local people shocked and appalled. This is normally a quiet residential street.
Aye, it's normally a quiet residential street. This isn't the slum or anything. It's just where all the fucking rich people stay.
Surprised and shocked. It's a very quiet.
Richer, or I don't know.
Suburb really of Glasgow. Would not expect something like that to happen.
Oh, I'm shocked.
City state.
Yesterday afternoon, a huge response by the emergency services, forensic officers collecting evidence, and eyewitnesses questioned about the attack, which had happened on a sunny Sunday afternoon on a North Lanarkshire housing scheme.
Police Scotland will not tolerate this type of behaviour, whether it's a sunny Sunday afternoon or anywhere else, and it will be fully investigated. And I'd like to reassure the public that we will keep a high patrol with uniformed officers and plainclothes officers in this area for the foreseeable future.
Police say though the attack was targeted, members of the public could easily have been caught up in it. 2 of the victims have now been released from hospital. 1 who's still being treated is in a stable condition. Hugh Williams, reporting Scotland, Cardaman in Steps.
retaliations.
Third of the UK's oil and gas companies are planning more job cuts as the oil price takes longer to...
Anyway, I just wanted to listen to that wee bit because I hadn't heard it all in its entirety. But I thanks for joining everybody in the evening. Hopefully you enjoyed the BeNewsment. I won't be sticking around for much longer, as I'm actually looking forward to my bed. But there's a link in the chat if anybody wants to come in live and bring anything up at all. If not, feel free to use the link for the after show chat if you just want to batter in for a wee bit of a chit chat or whatnot. But in the evening, everybody, do bear in mind, if you do appreciate the BeNewsment, feel free to stick a wee thumbs up, it is much appreciated. Roberto Carlos, Ridiculizer, Days, Alan McVicker, how you doing, buddy? Alan, I'll send you a message later, mate. Try and give us a wee phone or something if you can, man. Hopefully see you this week at some point, mate, if you get me. Heather, Stoneman, Collyman, Mr. Drew, John, how you doing, my man? Heather, Paddy, the artist formerly known as Tony. Heather, Mr. Drew, Alan, Collyman. In the evening, everybody. Paddy, Zigzag, how you doing, my man? Kendo, in the evening, buddy. Heather, Mr. Drew, Days, Collyman, Lewis, how you doing, my man? Mr. Drew, John, Stoneman. In the evening, guys and girls, thanks everybody for joining. Link in the chat down below, anybody that wants to join. Do it quickly or forever hold your peace. Jesus. Hold on, who the hell was that? I just thought I recognised her there. I'm having... Oh, it was no, even Sturgeon, that other...
Had a much better experience, but only 1 in 5 have one.
Zikal!
One of those actually scored more positively in every single question in that survey. So we absolutely need to make sure that
I know what it is. I know a lassie with the same mouth as her, and almost identical. Pretty weird, that. But anyway, in the evening, everybody, thanks for joining. Tune in tomorrow night for another BeNewsment at 10. Not 10:30, but 10. Hopefully it'll be back on track. I think I'll do the I'll either do Channel 4, Sky News or whatever. Keep a wee eye on the British stuff in the run up to the referendum, although it is hard putting up with any mainstream media with regards to the referendum, So all links below if you want to go and check that all out. Going to play us out with a bit of religion and politics, why not? So tune in tomorrow night at 10 for another World BeNewsment at 10. Catchies!
serves those who seek to control it. Time can blur the lines of truth. Memory keep free from propaganda. Every war that's ever been, every atrocity we've seen, they're responsible for. Every step along the way, double speak hypocrisy, we don't need them anymore. You fucking dirty bastards, I can see right through. You fucking dirty bastards, see right through you. You fucking dirty bastards, all the lies you tell. You fucking dirty bastards, may you rot in hell. You fucking dirty bastards, all the wars you start. You fucking dirty bastards, with your blackened heart. You fucking dirty bastards, fake morality. You fucking dirty bastards, are you listening to me? Jimmy Savile was with the travel man, he had his own keys. So passing gallows up and unravel the state of emergency. He wasn't a cider, a provider, ran about with the deceders like he wore shell suits or flammable fibres. He was a subscriber to Crowley's doctrine, there's a misassumption of his function like the head's a cecil fin. He had help from above and within, the corridors of power and sin. So yo, I'm talking to go, I'm like a dugout in a trap with a flow. I'm locking on your hypothalamus and letting you know that I'm stealing a show. With false flag terrorism, I'm creating a schism, stealing your vision with an insafeful incision. I perceive a vision of the safer decision. I've got a firepower and the ammunition to open up your eyes to the lies you've told about government. It really means mind control. Check the etymology, if you don't believe me, you better go check out Mark Pasio. Swear the fuck I'm not having you on. Open up your eyes to the con. Religion means retarded when you check where the word comes from. To be thwarted in forward progress, to be hypocrites for moving on. You are being played like a pawn, it's always darkest before dawn. The bus to be sold you out when you were born. You seem to be shot and you fill me with scum. It's a F.E.A.R, it's a F.E.A.R, it's F.E.A.R, come on. It keeps the cheese and the maize and the rats and the race and those peasants in the days like a head up on the ace. It's a F.E.A.R, come on. Keeps clear.